Welcome in the 22nd episode. Today we will add congratulation text to our game. If you want to help support this channel, hit the subscribe button below this video, turn on notification so you will not miss any future episode I release. Okay, so let's get started. So as you remember in the last episode, we have added different colors to our shapes. So now we want to add some bonus indication. So today we're gonna concentrate on the situation where player complete more than one line at the same time. So if there will be situation where I place the shape and I will destroy two or more lines, then we will display the congratulation text in the middle of the screen, and there will be always random text. So in order to do that, let's first of all open our game scene, and now let's go to the canvas, and I will just right click on the canvas. Let's create the empty game object. I will call this object to be writings. Okay, and now let's go to the scripts. Let's go to the game scripts, to the game folder, right click, create C# script, and I will call this script congratulation writings. Okay, we can open the script now. So this is going to be a very simple class. So let's first of all remove our comments. We can also remove the update function. And then let's add one more function below. So I will add the disable function. So private void on disable. So this is the standard Unity function. And now let's put another private function, private void, and this function will be show congratulation writings. Okay, so we have the base class. So in order to trigger these writings, we will use the game events. So let's go to our game events class, and right at the bottom I will add one more game event. So let's put another public static action, and this action will not take any parameters, and I will call this event, this action, to be show congratulation writings. Okay, you can name it whatever you like. So let's save everything now, and now let's quickly get this action. So I will just copy this name. Let's go to our grid class. In our grid class, if you remember from the previous episodes, we have left the blank space to actually fill this one up with our bonuses. So let's go to our check if any line is completed function. So this is the function we want to be in. Let's scroll down where we're checking how many lines we have completed, and I have put this to do comment, play bonus animation. So we're going to replace this comment with our show congratulation writings. So let's call the game events dot show congratulation writings. Okay, so we're going to trigger this event if we complete more than one line. So if there will be two or more lines completed at the same time, we're going to call this event. And then we already multiplying our scores by the number of the lines we completed, so that's fine. So this is just the purely cosmetic change to the gameplay. So remember, this is in our check if any line is completed function. Okay, hopefully you have found this place. So now let's save everything, and now we can actually go back to our congratulation writing class, and we can fill up this class. So in the start method, we first of all want to subscribe to our newly created event. So let's call the game events dot show congratulation writings. So this is in the start function. Let's put plus equal, and we want to attach our show congratulation writings function. Okay, let's duplicate this line of code. Let's move it down to on disable, and make sure you replace this plus with the minus. So we're going to unsubscribe from this event. And the last thing to do is to actually get this function completed. So let's first of all add one more public variable. So public, and this is going to be list of game objects, and I will call it writings. So this is going to be our sprites assigned from the editor, which we will display it. So let's go to the show congratulation writings function now, and let's put var index is equal to Unity engine dot random dot range, and we want to get the range from 0 to writings dot count. Okay, so we're gonna select, so as you see, this is the list with all of the writings we want to assign from the editor. So that's gonna be the list of the sprites, and we want to select the random one. So I'm just using the Unity function random to select the random index out from this list. And then down below we can put the writings at index dot set active, and it's gonna be true. Okay, so that's it for this function. Let's save everything. Let's go back to Unity. Okay, so now let's go to the scripts folder, go again to the game, and we will have to add one more script. So right click, create C# script, and I will call this script writing shape. Okay, let's open the script. And this will be very simple script. So let's remove the start and the update function. And we will add just one function inside the script. So public void, and I will call it deactivate writing. Deactivate writing. And this script will just set the game object dot set active false. Okay, so that's basically it, what this script will do. So make sure you put this function, and make sure this function is public, because we will use this function in the animation event to actually trigger this event. So let's save everything now. Let's go back to Unity. Let's click on our asset folder, and I will add one more folder here. So I will call this folder animations. So let's right click, create folder, and I will call it animations. Okay, inside this folder I will put all of the animation in from the game. Okay, but before we do that, we need to create the prefab. So I will just go back to my writings object. I will just right click, create empty, and this gonna be our writing. Okay, I will call this writing for now. Let's add component to this object. So first one will be image. Let's go to our graphics now, go to the writings, and as you see we have a lot of writings here. So I will just select the first one, awesome, drop it into the source image, click set native size, and I will just change the scale to be 0.12, 0.12, and then it can be 1 on the Z, it doesn't really matter. Okay, the Y position, let's actually move it up. So I want to display it somewhere here. And on the X position, let's put actually maybe here. You can position it whenever you like. Okay, so now let's add some animation to our writing. So first of all, let's make sure the writing is selected. Now let's go to our window, select the animation, and then animation. So you will see this window with the animation window. Let's actually dock it to the Unity so we can see both the game and the animation. So as you see, we have selected the writing. Now let's create the animation. To create animation for this specific sprite, we just hit this create button, and then as you remember, we have added the animations folder to our project. So I will just select the animation. Let's name this animation to be congratulations writing animation. Okay, congratulations writing anim, save. And as you see, once we saved, the new component, the animator component, has been added to our object. And then we have our animation created here. So first of all, let's change the samples. So instead of the 60 samples per second, we're gonna play the 25. And now we can add some properties to our object. So the properties which we want to animate. So we want to animate, first of all, the scale and the rotation. So let's click add component. I will select this rectangle transform. You can see all of these components which you can, all of the values you can animate. So I will just select the rotation. So hit this small plus next to the rotation. And then let's add another one, rotation, rect transform, and then scale. Okay, so this is two values we want to animate. So to animate actually this object, you can either use the values here or you can use the values there. So as you see, we are on the first keyframe, and on the first keyframe, if you select any of these keys, you can see that we can select the specific keyframe and then change the value for it. So on the first keyframe, everything is fine. Let's go to the next keyframe. So I will just use the mouse wheel to actually bring everything back. And the next keyframe I want to do is on the 25, so here. So I will just select this keyframe by hitting this point, and then I will change the rotation on the Z to be -3. So as you see, we have live preview how this writing will look, and I will change the scale to be 0.15 and then 0.15. Okay, so we're gonna make it a bit bigger. So let's bring a bit more timeline. Let's go to the second 33. I will just hit this small point at keyframe. And on this keyframe, we want to get the rotation -4. I will just put the scale back to 1.2 and then 1.2. I will go to another keyframe, which will be the 46, somewhere here. Hit the keyframe, and on the 46, I'm gonna put the rotation back to 4 instead of -4. Okay, and then let's hit this 54, add keyframe. Let's change this rotation to be -2, and then leave the scale as it is. Bring some more. I will go somewhere here maybe now, add keyframe. And on this keyframe, I'm gonna change the rotation to be 2. Then let's go to the 75, somewhere here, add keyframe. And let's put finally the rotation back to 0. And then let's go back to the last keyframe. So I will go to somewhere around this 80, this is gonna be 83. Hit this keyframe. And on this keyframe, we want to make sure our rotation is 0 and our scale is also 0. Okay, so make sure you put the scale to be 0 so you can't see this text. And on this keyframe, we want to add the event. Okay, so now actually before we continue, we have selected this writing. Let's attach our script to this object. So I will go to the scripts, to our scripts, go to the game. And I will just grab this writing shape. So let's select this writing again and grab our writing shape and drop it onto this game object. Okay, so make sure the writing shape is attached. And now let's go back to our animation, and we can hit this small button add event. So I will just hit this event. So as you see, once you hit this event, you will see the small marks displayed. If you select this mark, in your inspector, you will be able to select the function which we want to trigger at this keyframe. So I will just select from the list. Let's scroll. You have over here, you have like a lots of standard Unity functions which you can trigger, but I will just use this small arrow and then move it right at the bottom. So the last function should be the one you have added. So as you remember, our function was named deactivate writing from the script. So I will just select this deactivate writing function from here. So let's select it. Okay, so make sure the function is attached. So what is gonna do? This basically this whole thing will play the animation, and then at the end of the animation, our deactivate writing function will be triggered. So our object will be deactivated. I hope this is clear. So this is what, as you see, the deactivate writing event will be triggered. Okay. So now we can go to the file and then save, and then file, save project. And we can actually select this writing. We can close this animation window. But before we do that, let's actually quickly play all of the animation and see how this looks. So as you see, our awesome writing will be looks like that, and then is gonna go back. Okay, so I think that looks good. Okay, so let's stop it. We can close this animation window now, and our writing should have this animator component. Okay, so now actually to demonstrate to you how this is gonna work, as you see in our animator component, we have our update mode to be normal, and then cooling mode always animate. So make sure this is setting like that. Now, if we actually deactivate this object, so let's uncheck this activated checkmark, press play. So while our game is running in our game view, if you manually now enable this object, as you see, the awesome will be played and then disappear, and our object is becoming deactivated because our event marker was triggered from the animation. Okay, so this is how this is gonna work. So let's actually activate this object again, and now we want to create a prefab out of it. So let's go to the prefabs folder. Let's actually rename this object, instead of the writing, to be congratulation writing. Okay, and now let's grab our congratulation writing and drop into the prefab. So as you see, everything just turns blue. And now I will just get this and rename it again to be awesome, because we're displaying the awesome text. Awesome. Okay, and now let's create the prefabs for every single writing we have under our writings folder. So as you see, we have like a lot of writings here. So I'm gonna create one of it for every single one. So let's select our awesome, right click, duplicate, and I'm gonna call it cool. Cool. Okay, grab our cool, hit this set native size. That should be okay. Okay, let's do another one. So duplicate, and it's gonna be the excellent. Grab our source image, drop it here, set native size. We have the excellent. Now let's duplicate this, and it's gonna be the good one. Good one. Grab, drop it here, and then set native size. Duplicate. Now we wanna get the good. Set native size. Okay, so you have to do the same for every single writing from here. I will just do it myself as well. So set native size. Okay, so I've done mine. Hopefully you have all of them as well. So as you see, every single one is activated now. So let's select all of them. So I will just select the awesome, hold shift on the keyboard and select the last one. And let's uncheck this activation checkmark for all of them. so none of them is activated. Now let's select our writing object, and we have to add our script to this. So let's go to the scripts, then game, and let's grab our congratulation writings and drop it here. So as you remember, we have added the list for this writings. So let's select the awesome. Let's actually hit the writings again. Click this small padlock here to just lock this inspector. Select the awesome. Now select the last one and then grab all of them and drop it onto the writings. Okay, so the list will be auto-populated with the size. So make sure you have all of them inside this list. So now we can uncheck this inspector, uncheck this padlock. Okay, and we have the list populated. Okay, so that's fine. I think that's everything we had to do for this. So now let's press play and let's test our changes. If you press play, so now we need to try to cause the situation where we complete more than one line. Okay, so as you see, we have the situation where we're gonna complete these two lines straight away by placing this shape here, and we should have at the top the randomly selected one of our writing. So let's do that. Let's place the shape. Okay, and for some reason our writing has not been triggered. Okay, so let's actually find out what is the reason why this wasn't triggered. So let's go to our scripts, game, grid, and then grid script. Let's go to our function where we actually triggering our event. So check if any line is completed. Let's scroll down and let's see, we are triggering this function, but we are only triggering it if our completed lines is more than 2. Okay, so that's mean we're gonna trigger this function only if we have the 3 lines, which is not correct. So let's modify this if statement and make sure you put more or equal. So even if we have triggered 2 lines, we still will see this writing displayed. Okay, so make sure you put this to be more or equal, not just more. So make sure your if statement looks exactly as mine. Now when you save everything, you can go back to Unity and then press play and try to test it again. Okay, so we have the situation with 2 lines. So if I place the shape here, the 2 lines will be completed. So let's test our changes. Let's see if here will be displayed our writing. So as you see, we have a switch animation and then writing disappear and our game object is going deactivated. So everything works fine. You can test it yourself and everything should be fine. So this is one of the bonus we have implemented. There is still one more which we need to do, so that's gonna be in the next episode. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you do, please leave a like under this video and consider subscribing to this channel. So thanks for watching and I will see you again in the next episode.